Okay.
Morris is going to sound real funny.
And I'll say, we're the Bee Gees, and this is Top of the Pops.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Barry.
I'm Robbie.
I'm Morris.
And we're the Bee Gees, and this is
Top of the Pops. Let's do it again.
Yes, wrong.
1, 2, go.
1987, the year that Britain gave up criticising and started consuming.
I'm not saying life began in 1987, but there definitely is a before and an after.
By 87, things started to change.
Money was everything, and greed was good.
Everybody was taking advantage of the moment and having a good time.
You gotta fight for your right to
Those that worked hard and played hard reaped the rewards.
87 was a fantastic year for us. I mean, just staggering.
And if you were a player in the game of pop, there was only one place that you wanted to be.
That's the gig. I came to be spoiled.
New Year's Day 1987, and Top of the Pops was there to ring it in.
Hi, we're live. Happy New Year, and welcome to the very first Top of the Pops of 1987.
We didn't know it yet, but Britain was about to embark on a year of soaring prosperity. The Cold War was thawing, and old foes started a loving. America and Russia had glasnost, and we started work on a tunnel to France, which would open up European trade and make us all rich. Optimism was in the air.
The whole culture in the UK at the time was, you can do anything you want.
Lifestyle was the buzzword of 87. It was about individuality. And self-expression relied on your chosen status symbols. The things you wore, the car you drove, the food that you ate, were all indicators of your style, your taste, and how much you earned.
Margaret Thatcher was pull yourself up by your bootstraps, take care of yourself, and you'll be rewarded for that. And a lot of people bought into that. In 1987, anyone could be someone. If you wanted it, you went for it. Mel and Kim Appleby were from London's East End. They'd grown up with little money, but a lot of ambition. And this was the year their unapologetic quest for success paid off with a #1 hit.
You know, these two girls, it was a fairy story. From Knicker Factory to #1. You know, how much better can you get than that?
As 87 began, their debut single, Showing Out, was in its 17th week on the chart.
I think the thing with Mel and I is what you saw is what you got. We never forgot where we came from, and we never tried to be something that we weren't.
They were indeed fresh. Spirited, sassy, and with a bucket load of charm, Mel and Kim were the spirit of 87 for Messrs Stock, Aitken and Waterman.
When they came here to meet us, I mean, we were the biggest producers at the time. They didn't give a monkeys.
They didn't look as funky as we thought they were going to be. It wasn't what we were expecting.
I'm not saying it brought street cred to Stock Aitken Waterman because they weren't about that anyway, but they made a record that was a bit more street and a bit cooler because the girls added that to it because they knew what they were about. They weren't being pushed around and told what to do and all the rest of it.
Mel and Kim wore trousers, wore flattish shoes. They are girl next door. If you're a girl, you'll really look up to that, thinking they've not been forced to wear anything that they don't want to wear or sing anything they don't want to sing.
Which is why certain publications could have caused a PR disaster when they cheekily published some old pics of Mel.
Melanie had done some Playboy pictures in the past, before we were famous, and of course they press dug them out. And her attitude was just brilliant. She was just like, there's nothing I can do about it, but let's go and tell Pete.
Mel sat in front of the desk and said, look, I've got to confess to you, I've got a set of pictures coming out in a magazine, and I did these some time ago. So I sort of said, are they sort of arty pictures? And she went, yeah. And I went, are you completely naked? Yeah. Oh. All I want to know is, are you on your own? She went, yes. I said, oh, I don't care then.
You used to do a bit of modelling, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I've done it for about a year or so.
Bit of page 3.
Bit of page 3, yeah.
How does this?
It's different. It's wild. You keep your clothes on for this? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the difference.
She was just laughing. She just said, it is what it is, Pete. And he just couldn't believe our attitude. East London girls. So, you know, it takes a lot to ruffle your feathers, really.
The girls clapped right back at any criticism with Respectable, which also gave Stock, Aitken and Waterman the chance to get creative.
We've got a new piece of equipment in the studio called a Publison, and Mike was playing with it. So you could play it on the keyboard. So before where you could just trigger the sample, like a kick drum or a snare drum, this you could play on the piano. So you could change the note. So you could go, hey, 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 hey.
The MD of the label we were signed to, he hated the tay-tay, 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 tay-tay. And Pete was going to put it back to just tay, so there wasn't going to be a run-up to the chorus.
The girls were in Holland doing a gig.
It was the first time we were performing Respectable, so we hadn't performed it here in England at that time. And we went tay, 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 and then by the second chorus, the whole audience was going tay, tay.
About 11:30 at night, I got a call from Holland. And the manager said, for Christ's sake, don't take that tay-tay-tay off the record. I got a club of people all singing tay, tay, tay.
Respectable rocketed to #1 and bounced Mel and Kim back to the Top of the Pops studio.
It was very nerve-wracking doing Top of the Pops, and I remember Mel and I hoping we weren't going to forget the dance routine. It is a big deal, really, because everyone wants that kind of #1, don't they? But we never thought that. We were just buzzing.
Their third single ostensibly summed up the good time mantra of '87 in fun, love and money, though what FLM actually stood for was a little more vernacular.
Fucking lovely, mate. Every 3 minutes, Mel would come up with fucking lovely, mate. How's this, Mel? Fucking lovely.
And we went to the studio one day, and up on the monitor was FLM, and we turned to Mike and we were like, FLM? What does that mean? And he said, friggin' lovely, mate. And we went, well, we can't sing that on Top of the Pops. But they were clever. They made it fun, love and money.
We were the Filofax generation at that point, so it was about credit cards, it was about mobile phones, it was on about the way money was changing things, the way that the whole of society was suddenly becoming very different. It was FLM, fun, love and money.
If you're in confusion, here's the solution. Fun, love and money.
Riding high on a hat-trick of hits, Mel and Kim's triumph seemed unstoppable.
We went to the Montreal Pop Festival and we'd done our performance, which went really, really well. But we all went out to dinner and Melanie got up to go to the ladies and fell. And it didn't seem like a big deal at the time, but she laughed and just shrugged it off. And it wasn't until we got to Japan that I then knew there was something seriously wrong. And then when we came back, she was diagnosed.
And it's one of them situations where it all turns in front of your eyes, you know. I mean, because your health is the most important thing.
We weren't melancholy about the whole thing. We were actually very positive. We've still got this energy. You know, this is a blip at the moment. What are we doing in the meantime? And we did. We wrote songs. And eventually you get to a point where, you know, we both knew. I think she knew, and maybe didn't say anything, but I certainly knew that she wasn't going to get better.
You look back and you think, one of the brightest spirits I ever met in my life, bravest people. Without a question, she was brave.
For at least 15 years, I didn't want anything to do with Mel and Kim. But now I feel like I've made my peace. This happened and it was tragic, but look, this is what we did, and I'm here to fly the flag for Mel and myself.
I mean, if you go and thinking you're a star straight away, I mean, that could really mess you up. Yeah. But we're very
Down to
cool.
earth.
I'm down to earth, you're cool.
It was actually the law in 1987 to wear a suit. Not really. But the mainstream loved a shoulder pad, and whether it was Gautier or Man from C&A,
It's a mixed fibre, blouson jacket.
you had to look like a rich sophisticate.
I felt like I was it in those suits because the shoulders were kind of like... Everybody kind of looked like they had the physique of Superman.
Old-fashioned was new fashion, and a wave of wannabe classic British soulsters appeared. But it was an American idol that looked like he'd wandered straight from the 60s and into television centre that was the breakthrough of the year. The artist formerly known as Terence Trent D'Arby.
Or rather, would you care to dance, grandmother?
First thing that comes to mind is walking through Soho with him, and he was such a beautiful human being that all the girls would look at him as we walked past, and I was invisible.
He was just beautiful, and he could do the splits. He could sing and do the splits. That is a hard thing to do.
I lived in Europe for about 5 years before I moved over here. And I moved over here because it was my ambition to be a brilliant poser. And basically, England is a poser's paradise, specifically London. So I thought, well, Terence, if you're going to be a poser, you do it in the land of posers. That's why I'm here.
I grew up with a dream, and I grew up with a faith and a belief that I was born to be a rock star.
You know, he was like fully focused on the matter in hand. He realised this was a big opportunity to change his life, and he was absolutely correct.
It was my trip down the rabbit hole.
I was just about to start on another production job, and somebody rang me up and he said, "You've got to hear this tape, it's amazing." And it was amazing, and I immediately dropped that job and said, I've got to meet this guy.
Martin Ware was the one who said, look, I got you. I know you. I know who you are. I know what record you want to make, and I'll let you make that record.
And then when I got to meet him, he was clearly amazing looking too. I thought, this guy's got the full package.
I know the last few pages haven't been good for the both of us, and I've caused you a lot of grief. But put those bags down, okay? Before you make a decision like that, please just listen to me, because I don't want you to leave. I definitely don't want you to leave. Just hear me out.
This perfect pop star. I mean, could he have done anything else? No. He just arrived and everyone just, oh my God, look at him.
It's just irresistibly funky.
An engineer literally just pushed a button on the drum machine to see if it worked. And I heard this drone, and doom, da, doom, da, doom, doom. I said, what's that? And he said, what the fuck you mean, what's that? That's like, we're just setting up the stuff. I said, give me 15 minutes. And so I went into my room. In 15 minutes, I came out with Wishing Well.
Sing like a bandit, stealing time underneath the sycamore tree.
It's such a beautifully written song.
By the all-Saint Valentine.
It had elements of a kind of a really old blues kind of minimalism.
Wish me love, a wishing well, to kiss and tell, oh, wishing well, a butterfly tea.
When it came to the chorus, I thought we needed something a bit more playful, some kind of weird Disney-like elephant walking along thing with the baritone sax. So this all together, it was a really spicy mixture. But that changed his life, you know, that particular song.
The album, introducing the hardline according to, was released in July and blew the critics away. It spent 9 weeks at #1 and went on to go platinum 5 times over.
Everybody had that record. I mean, everybody.
He was a genius, and that album is one of the best albums ever.
He was being pursued by the paparazzi a lot.
It's quite fun. It's sort of, you get bored and you figure, what can I do today? So you figure, well, I've got a good quote, you know. Why don't I just wind up the press some more? It's quite fun.
There was certainly a degree to which I used to hear criticism about being chauffeur-driven in Daimlers. You know, it's too early for him. It's too early. It's going to spoil him. Well, no, that's the gig. I came to be spoiled.
He knew he was good. And that's not, I don't think that's arrogant. I think that's just being honest, really. And in fact, at the time, he saw himself as direct competition to Prince. And so there was this kind of competitiveness. We got this message one day from Prince's management company saying, Prince really likes your stuff. Could you send all your demos over to him, please? And we went, no, why would we do that? I mean, I love Prince, but, you know, I think he was trying to get a march on his competitor.
Fortunately, you have got someone who relies on you. We started.
It was very much a whirlwind year. You know, you can't have that again. And that was my very first experience. It was like, where do you go from there? There was no place to go from there.
Sign your name across my heart. I want you to be my baby.
Through the grace of God, I still own all my songs. And, you know, they still get played, and I still owe a tremendous amount of debt and gratitude to that era. You just take it while it lasts, and you're grateful that you survived it.
In 1987, the show turned the grand old age of 24, a dinosaur in television years.
Isn't it getting a bit long in the tooth now?
No, of course it's not. I mean,
Headman Michael Hurl was had up in TV studios left, right and centre to defend the BBC brand.
But really, you see, Top of the Pops reflects what you, the general public, are buying, what you're buying. I don't choose the programme. If anybody says to me, I didn't like that on Top of the Pops, it's your fault for buying it, it's not me.
The Pops had always stuck to its populist top 40 remit against the likes of hipster show The Tube and the serious muso's favourite, Whistle Test. There had been room for everyone. But in 1987, those rock and roll shows were cancelled, and Hurl got a right rollicking from angry indie kids for not representing pop's ever more diverse tastes.
Who in the audience agrees with that?
Well, I listen to John Peel a lot, and some of the bands I hear, I've never seen. Why aren't I seeing these bands?
I'd love to have another version of Top of the Pops. I'd like to have a magazine music programme.
The BBC has been in the market for minority programmes, not just on BBC Two, for the duration of its life, hasn't it? Why do you have to have a big audience?
Well, the answer is that we are but servants of our masters as programme makers.
In the absence of the cooler shows, Top of the Pops had to sometimes be a bit edgier, without looking like it was having a midlife crisis. There were handheld cameras to get us right in the face of the action. Yeah, back off a bit. Out went the cheerleaders, and in came an enthusiastic dry ice machine. And those state-of-the-art 80s graphics. And where else could you get Eurovision hero Johnny Logan and the Jesus and Mary chain?
Hey, honey, what you trying to say? As I stand here, don't you walk away. And the world comes tumbling down.
It gets polarised where you have quite alternative music. So you've got Jesus and Mary chain, and you've got Stockake and Waterman.
The industry itself, the actual music industry, was going towards bands that wore anoraks and wrote, sang dirgy songs and didn't wash or didn't sleep, And we didn't believe that's all there was. A bit like us, yeah. We didn't actually believe that that's what people wanted.
Yes, PWL expertly tapped the taste of the nation and this year mastered the art of catering for mass consumption. And their poster boy was their tea boy.
I had given this guy that lived in Newton-le-Willows a job on a youth opportunity training programme.
You've actually been working here for about 2 years so far, haven't you?
That's right, yeah. Stock Aitken Waterman, I've had my deal with them for quite a while now. And they asked me to come down and work in the building so I get to know everybody and the way that they worked, really. Yeah.
Technically, he was like an apprentice engineer. He did make tea. He was blinking good at it. He was a really good tea maker.
There is only me who makes decent tea down here, so somebody's got to do it, you know.
He lived in Newton-le-Willows, where I lived at the time. So I came down on a Friday night or a Monday morning, so he came down with me. We were at home one morning and I was running late. And I was speaking to my on the phone, ex-girlfriend, for a long time, for about, good hour, over an hour. And I come off the phone, and as I come off the phone, Rick said to me, "You're never going to give her up." And I went, right.
Certainly Never Gonna Give You Up was written for me, and it was written for me from a lyrical point of view that it would hopefully be believable from a guy who looked about 11 years old and singing that song for a sweetheart.
Got into the studio, I got the piano player, I come down and sketch out these ideas.
I got the sandwiches on my own session for my first ever single, which turned out to be Never Gonna Give You Up.
I remember driving up listening to Capital Radio and they played Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, which was amazing because they hadn't got a copy.
I went on like a promo tour up and down the country, doing some PAs.
Gotta make you understand, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
Then we kind of had a phone call like 10 days into this saying, we're going to need you to go on Top of the Pops. And I'm like, what do you mean go on Top of the Pops? What are you talking about? He said, well, the record's going to be in the top 40 in a couple of days, and we've had the call, we want you on Top of the Pops. And I'm like, how does one go on Top of the Pops? What, is somebody going to sit me in a room and advise me how we do this? No, they're not.
I always knew with Rick Astley, and I always knew, and this is not an exaggeration, this is truth, I always knew when Rick Astley appeared on Top of the Pops, we wouldn't need to worry ever again.
My name's Rick Astley, I've come to go on Top of the Pops.
Because I knew that he would have such an impact on Top of the Pops that the taxi drivers in London next day would tell me it was a hit. Yep, thank you. Smash.
Was placed in front of a microphone and somebody said, go on, son, off you go. And that was it.
3, 2, 1, 51, 5 left, 1 of 3.
And I'm just looking round going, okay.
Now, you take a combination of Newton-le-Willows, also Stock Aitken and Waterman, and a guy called Rick Astley and a song called Never Gonna Give You Up, and you have a hit. Have a look at this. First time on Top of the Pops. It's superb.
But he's just Mr. Lovely Nice Guy. Can't really dance.
It's not dancing, it's just pure fear.
Part of the appeal of Rick Astley was he reacted to stardom in the way anybody would react to it who'd been working as a tea boy. So just thrilled, bewildered, baffled. It's real A Star Is Born stuff, isn't it?
I still think I can't understand what they're going to see in some red-haired lad from the north, as I put it, but yeah, I think I'm gradually getting used to that, yeah.
I was framed, if you like, as this boy next door who's a nice lad and your mum wouldn't mind her daughter meeting me. And once that's happened, it's sort of impossible to change it. You've been typecast and thrown into a role, if you like.
Never Gonna Give You Up was the biggest-selling single of 1987 and made Rick a millionaire.
In lots of ways, don't get me wrong, I'm unbelievably grateful for the way that record took off. But in a way, it would have also been quite nice to have had a top 10 to put your foot in the water and just kind of say, what is going on? How does this work? But it didn't really happen like that. And I don't regret it because it's been amazing and it's been really good to me, that song, ever since.
Good afternoon to you. Earlier on today, apparently, a woman rang the BBC and said she heard that there was a hurricane on the way. Well, if you're watching, don't worry, there isn't.
In 1987, Britain was certainly battered. All year, the headlines made for tragic reading. And in October, the great winds lay waste to the southeast as the financial bubble burst in the city and the stock market tumbled.
No need to run and hide. It's so wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's so wonderful, wonderful life.
In a desolate landscape of news, music became an ever more important distraction for the youth. Energy, lust for life, and a rebel yell were required. And the call was answered by hip-hop and the Beastie Boys.
These three young men, nice Jewish boys from New York, are the latest example of music business hype. A choreographed brawl, a stanza of swear words, coupled, of course, with insulting the press, is enough to guarantee the kind of publicity that sells records.
MPs tried to ban them from British soil, but there was no stopping the naughty blighters.
I think it's a shame that you have to write articles and make up lies to sell your papers. Because it's really stupid.
The Beastie Boys brought a refreshing breath of foul air, but Britain's homegrown trailblazers upped the Americans' ante, mixed all the metaphors, and knocked it out of the park.
Pump up the volume. I remember seeing that on Top of the Pops and thinking, oh, we're on the kind of cusp of bringing breakbeats and hip-hop into kind of a more mainstream perception.
Cult indie label 4AD were known for dreamy, jangly guitar bands rather than dance music. DJ Dave Durrell had been working with Colourbox's Martin Young on musical stings for the launch of MTV Europe, and this was the genesis of the biggest dance floor tune of 1987.
Martin called me and said, let's do a much longer version of what we've been doing in the studio for MTV.
When it comes to getting the right person to man the decks, it was without a doubt Chris. Chris brings the chops. Chris was the UK champion.
He rang me and told me about this project to come down and do some scratching. The same day he's purchased Eric B and Rakim's I Know You Got Soul.
Eric B and Rakim, who were already legends within the hip-hop scene at that stage, their new album was hugely anticipated. I was waiting and going in religiously every day to try and get the first 12-inch, and I think it was pretty much the first 12-inch in the country. Took the record out, and then on the B-side was the a cappella, which was just, you know, Rakim rapping, and we were like, okay, this is a gold mine.
It's been a long time, I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many week shows you slept through. Time's up, I'm sorry I kept you thinking of this. You keep repeating you miss the rhyme from the microphone solo with. So you sit by the radio, hand on the dial soon. As you hear it, pump up the volume.
Obviously back then you could sample, you know, snippets. I think SB12 had 12 seconds and that was it.
It was the early days of sampling, you know. People had had the facility to sample for a few years, but suddenly, you know, machines like SB12, etc., allowed more access at an easier price. The machines before that cost thousands.
Brothers and sisters!
So we're making a song out of other people's records. We're making lyrics like, you know, brothers and sisters, pump up the volume, you're gonna get yours.
CJ and me, I think, probably kind of brought the majority of the elements to the story, and those are the things that you would kind of immediately associate with the record.
We talk about samplers, but most of the stuff you hear was straight off the turntable. I was playing a Muslim praying album, and it just kind of sounded in key. I sped it up from 33 to 45. And I dropped it in, and
it sat perfect.
I think it was quite random, actually.
It's not even a new thing, it's collage. You know, when we came out with it, we were walking into a sea change legally.
But using a sample from Stock Aitken and Waterman's Roadblock did not go down too well.
We had a good lawsuit, yeah, good lawsuit. You know, everybody denying everything. No, not me, Governor, not me, Governor, yeah, right.
But we ended up coughing quite a lot of money towards Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital, and that's a great cause, so.
Pump Up the Volume was a club smash, and it was picked up by Radio 1.
They're club music, but it's a great pop song, even though it's a dance track, it's a great pop song.
and worked brilliantly on the radio.
Well, then it was kind of, I guess, Top of the Pops phoning up and saying, do you want to be on Top of the Pops? You're #1.
Well, they'd been on ITV's The Roxy. Dear old Top of the Pops was a no-brainer, right?
No way.
Well, yeah, I was opposite. I wanted to go on Top of the Pops.
The dynamic DJ duo didn't make a lot of money from their monster hit. Still, it's not all about the filthy lucre, eh?
It'd be great to get that gold record from the US sometime, guys. Send Chris and me one.
Oh, sorry, but I've got one. Haven't you got one? Oh, didn't you get one? You must have got one. It's hanging in the toilet.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
See what you've done here.
Pump up the volume, dance.
Mars weren't the only ones who didn't turn up for Top of the Pops. The biggest acts of the year, MJ, Madonna and Prince, bestrode the charts as pop giants and lobbed Top of the Pops the video when they could be bothered.
Michael Jackson is there at #1. We couldn't get a video. No. I asked for the video, the producer asked for the video, he wouldn't give us one.
Even I asked, I couldn't get. Never mind. This is Spaniard, call me Toodaloo, bye, 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 bye.
Top of the Pops had to make the most of its unique selling point. It wasn't a video show.
Top of the Pops is made in a studio, and I think if we just ran all the videos we could, we'd just end up being rather like a DJ program on the radio. You know, we just do the linking.
So, in a grab for access to American acts, Michael Hurl launched a feeder show in the States.
Stay tuned for the American premiere of Top of the Pops.
It was co-hosted by Nia Peoples, who to this day I've never met, even though I co-hosted the show with her.
I'm Nia Peoples, and welcome to Top of the Pops. Each week, we'll be bringing you the hottest recording artists in the business, the ones at the top of the charts, and not just in the U.S. We'll also be taking you to London every week, where you'll see the artists who are climbing up the British chart.
It was a very clever way for the UK to get access to American acts who might not have been able to travel and promote their song.
Let's go over to Los Angeles now. Join Nia, who's going to introduce the #9 record this week.
Now here's a guy who Run DMC called the best rapper ever. He's been rapping since he was 9 years old, and he not only writes his own lyrics, but he writes his own music as well. At #9 this week, here's I Need Love by LL Cool J.
When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a girl who's as sweet as a dove. For the first time in my life, I see I need love.
Here's the highest new entry on the chart this week at #19 in our LA studio on Top of the Pops, Belinda Carlisle.
The USA show did its job. Without it, we might never have seen Belinda Carlisle. Already a star stateside as a member of new wave girl group The Go-Go's, but unknown to a wider British audience.
You know, all through my career with the Go-Go's, I had never had any success in the UK. So, and I always wanted that. Top of the Pops really opened up a lot of doors for me.
All the bands on the USA show played live, perfect for the crop of guitar bands that dominated the Billboard chart in '87. And that appetite for soft rock suited one unknown Brit band down to the ground.
Ron and I have been working hard for about 6 years by the time we caught a break with Virgin in 1987. Our sound was pop rock. It's MOR, isn't it? And they say if you're in the middle of the road, you will get run over. We borrowed some money off my dad and we bought the latest keyboard. Ron came up with dun 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 dun, found the right sound, stuck it into the sequencer, and it just repeated. He said, you need something percussive. So we tried lots of percussion to come, you know, but it still wasn't quite right. So eventually I came up with percussive lyrics, which is something in the moonlight catches my eye, the shadow of a lover goes dancing by. I actually invented rap, and I do not get the credit for it that I deserve.
Something in the moonlight catches my eye. The shadow of a lover goes dancing by. Looking for a little bit of love to grow. So give me love, give me heart and soul.
It went in just inside the top 100 and straight back out. And we were just devastated, and we thought, it's all over before it's even begun. The music business is a cutthroat business. So many bands get dumped after their first single.
Fortunately, Heart and Soul was picked up by British brand Pepe for an ad campaign in the States. The Jeans Genie worked its magic, and the single started to climb the US Billboard chart.
And everybody followed America's lead. So you had a big hit in America, and it just jettisoned out across the rest of the world. And so it gets re-released back home. But when then we got the call for Top of the Pops, I think I nearly had a heart attack. I just couldn't believe it. Top of the Pops was a box I had to tick. You know, we've got to get on Top of the Pops, and then my dad knows I've got a proper job. And my school friends are going to watch it, and that girl that bullied me is going to see it. Everyone was going to see you on Top of the Pops. It's still my favourite to Power song, and the one that, as a songwriter, I'm the most proud of. Ronnie and I had been working on a ballad. Ron had got all the chords on the piano, and I'd watched a documentary on Mary Shelley writing the Book of Frankenstein. And I was very inspired by her story. So she writes a piece of pulp fiction. She's age 19. She's married to Percy Shelley. That book caused a lot of problems in their set. So I found it a multi-layered, fascinating story. Wanted to tell that story.
It was the theme she had on the scheme he had, told in a foreign land, to take life on earth to the second birth, and the man was in command.
China in Your Hand was the 600th single to go to #1 in the history of the UK chart, and it stayed there for 5 weeks.
The chart positions 43 in 1951, and that was the security code to our alarm in our house.
Don't push too far, your dreams are China in your hand. Don't wish too hard, because they may come true, and you can't help them. You don't know what you might have said upon China in your hand.
To go to #1 and stay there for that long means that the nation has taken that song to their heart. It was November. We were getting possibly hopeful it would stay hang on till Christmas.
But T'Pau were just one of the runners and riders in an epic tussle for the tinsely top spot.
Yeah, the fight for Christmas #1, 1987.
Christmas is a nuts kind of time in the UK. You know, they still have that thing about the Christmas #1.
It's like being crowned. It's like winning the year, being Christmas #1.
Yep, it was a doozy. Comic Relief's festive offering was Mel and Kim. Not that Mel and Kim. Do you see what they did there?
Confused a lot of people.
So many layers to it. It's like a novel.
But surely it was a shoo-in for the young lad from Newton Le Willows.
When I fall in love, it will be forever.
Waterman, Pete, decided we need to get me singing something different, not an up-tempo pop, whatever. We need to kind of showcase my voice a little bit. I'm not 100% sure we managed that.
In a restless world like this is, love is ended before it's begun.
We flew to the Arctic Circle and went up to shoot a video in like 9 foot of snow in minus 15, minus 20, shot a video that when you look at it today, or even maybe even then, looked like we shot it in North London on a film set with fake snow and all the rest of it.
It will be completely.
There was this whole hoo-ha going on because Pet Shop Boys label, EMI, released the original version of When I Fall in Love to kind of counteract my version.
It will be forever, or I'll never fall.
We never thought that EMI would issue the original version of When I Fall in Love. I mean, why would you? Why would you? Only to stop us getting to #1.
And I remember Pete Waterman going absolutely crazy about that, stomping around a building going, EMI. I won't tell you exactly what he said, but anyway.
Got stuffed. Yeah.
Of the sun.
EMI's cunning ploy paid off, and their Pet Shop Boys took the crown and the biscuit. As you can see, Neil Tennant was jumping with joy.
A flipping cover.
It doesn't feel Christmassy at all.
The Pet Shop Boys were synthpop. It was all the rage, and big lumbering pop rock bands like us were considered sort of dinosaurs. And they'd have been very unkind about us in smash hits. It was Ronnie, me, and the two of them in the makeup chairs. Awkward!
In a year that you could get whatever you wanted, what we wanted was all about to change again as we stepped into a rave new world. Hold tight for 1988. It was all about dance, dance, dance and the second summer of love. The BBC did their version of I See, and swoonsome new stars were made as Top of the Pops brought the party to a euphoric Britain.